Hello and welcome to the Cincy Sports Pod. I'm your host, Tim Kraft, along with my co-host, Jack Snyder, and the Reds, your Cincinnati Reds, are in the playoffs. I mean, it has been a roller coaster of a season,
Perfect way to describe it.
ups and downs. I mean, throughout the season, you go so many games without being swept. And then you eventually start getting swept all the time. And then you found a way to bounce back when, like, 9 of 12, 8 of 11. You just really find a way to get your team in a position, along with the Mets collapse, to get yourself in a position to be in the playoffs. And they did that. They did just that.
Yes, they did. I mean, just a great way to describe it. Obviously, like you said, a point where this team can really do nothing wrong, and then eventually they're playing good baseball, and all of a sudden they drop a three-game series to the Athletics, and then lose one to the Cardinals. And you're like, okay, what is this really going to happen? And then they sweep the Cubs. So you're like, okay, awesome, let's do it. Back in the wild card, drop the next two to Pittsburgh. And then you're like, well, here we are. That's the
Here
same
we
old
go.
Cincinnati
Gotta
sports.
win, next four.
Yep, and then they win three in a row, taking the first two against Milwaukee, obviously, and then drop that final game. But thank you, thank you to the Miami Marlins for just creating
Yes.
some magic to take down the Mets. And I mean, really the closing stretch of baseball for the Reds, I think, was just really impressive. I mean, winning 6 out of 7 games against the top two teams in the division in the final two series to close it out, I think really shows how resilient this team is. And frankly, I kind of like their chances in LA. I think they can put up a good fight.
I think they can put up a good fight, especially when you've got as good of a pitching staff as the Reds do, and you're going to throw out probably Hunter, Lodolo, Abbott, would be my guess. And I think they have a shot to be able to put themselves in a spot, give really nice, good innings, maybe 5 to 6 innings. You don't really go too long in the playoffs purely because it's just such a matchup based atmosphere. Everything's so tense, and you got to get the right matchup. So if you got something better in the bullpen, you go to that because it's win or go home. And that's what I love about October. And now that we actually get to see the Reds in it is just so huge for this city. And we're gonna be it's David versus Goliath. We're going up against $406 million payroll, a team that really hasn't played their best this year. Granted, their talent yet, obviously they're still the NL West division champions for I don't know the 11th straight time or something crazy like that. They've owned that division forever. I mean, ever since they got Clayton Kershaw, that division has been owned by the Dodgers. So I just can't wait to see what happens in LA.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the starting pitcher for game one is going to be Hunter Green. As we said,
Mhm.
the pitching rotation is going to be really the key for this Reds team, as it's kind of their strong suit in a way. But you can have the great starting pitching and then lose 1-0, like we've seen them do a lot. So you got to get the bats going, and I mean, it starts off with, I think, number one, De La Cruz for sure. No matter how inconsistent he's been, whether it's fielding at shortstop or at the plate, he has kind of stepped up down the stretch here. Obviously, all star halfway through the year, playing phenomenal baseball, and then he just kind of tanked off a little bit in the second half. Didn't hit a home run for like I don't even know how long, a
It
month,
was
almost
like
2 months.
July 31st, and I think it had been almost 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously he started the game three in Milwaukee with that solo home run to get the Reds on the board. Obviously, they lost the game, so that doesn't mean too much. But still, the ability to come up big in that stance right there, I thought was huge. And everybody else, that you don't need to hit home runs every time. I think it'll just to
Hmm.
be about
Just
getting
getting
on
on
base.
base. That's
And
it.
we've
Mhm.
seen this team. I don't like I've said, like I don't get to watch a ton of games, but like I know this team can steal bags, and
Yeah.
I think this is a series where Ellie gets on base, you got to steal. If you get other people on base, you got to steal. I think this is
That is
you
the
have
one
nothing to
thing.
lose.
Yeah.
and you just 3 games,
That is
you
the
just
one
throw
thing
it all
that
out
I
there.
liked about David Bell teams is that they would steal bags. I think that is probably one of the only approaches that I agreed with David Bell on more than Tito. I think you got to be more aggressive on the base baths. I think Tito has completely been able to get the most out of every single player this year. Um, I don't think, obviously, LA didn't perform up to expectations. There's a few other guys that didn't as well, but he had a lot of other guys that really came into the fold. The trade deadline acquisitions with Andujar, Miguel Andujar, he's the second best average in baseball, like since the deadline, among all MLB hitters. Key Brian Hayes, who's gonna win a Gold Glove, just makes unbelievably just charges uh, the ball and just barehands it and throws it on over to first base for the out. He's unbelievable. And his bat has gotten hot. And then the other one would be Zach Littell, who has given a really good lift to this starting lineup, allowing to move Nick Martinez to the bullpen to strengthen that up a little bit. And so the keys are, and like you said, the bats are going to need to get hot this series. You cannot scrape by against the Dodgers with 1 to 2 runs. That's just not going to happen. I don't care if you have Hunter Green out there. I don't care if you have Nick Lodolo out there. All these arms are great and will help you be able to win the series. But if the bats cannot score 3 to 4 runs a game, you really have no shot.
Yeah, I agree. Got a hit, and I think I want to pose a question to you, Tim. I certainly have my thoughts as well. What would you like to see the Reds? Who are the 9 guys you want to see them roll out and play baseball tomorrow night? Just a little about 30 hours
Um,
from now is when it'll first pitch.
It really depends on who's pitching for the Dodgers tomorrow.
I I'm seeing it looks like they haven't officially announced it, but I saw Blake Snell is the probable.
Okay. Okay. He's a righty, correct? I think he is.
He's left-handed.
Oh, he's left-handed. Okay. So TJ Friedel's got to be in the starting center fielder. Great on defense. Really good to get the lineup going. Great leadoff guy. I'd like to see Gavin Lux, especially against left-handed pitching, too, in there in left field. Um, who else would I like to see?
Marte in right field, I think has to play
Yeah,
for sure.
Marte in right field. I don't. I'm not even gonna do the order. That just makes it more complicated. Marte in right field. Key Brian Hayes at third. Um, Ellie at short. McLean at second, but that's just
That's what I
really
was
been
wondering.
tough.
I was interested to hear your answer on that.
That's really tough. But you can't put Espinal in there. I mean, you could maybe put Sal there. But
Hmm.
it would be a little bit of a switch up. And then I think Steer in the opening game, I think needs to be there just as the veteran presence at first base, and then you put Sal in for more offensive purposes. I think you can change that up in game 2 and go with Sal at first base, however you want to slice it. Steer can also play third base, left field. He's very versatile. So you really can mix and match these lineups. Benson's got to be a a factor in this series, as well as Miguel Andujar.
Yeah,
Those two bats need to be in the lineup somehow. So I don't really know what to do with the outfielders. The only thing that I know is Friedel and Marte have to be penned in there. That left field spot is really flexible.
yeah. Austin Hayes,
I
obviously,
was just about to bring him up. Yeah.
he's estimated return date is tomorrow. So
Yeah.
if things are on schedule, he actually played the other day, didn't he? I believe he came in and pinch hit.
Yeah, I think so.
So he could be an option in left field too as well.
Yeah, and he's a good defender too. Um, he did DH for a while this season, but yeah, I think you could stick him out in left field for sure.
Yeah, I think I do want to see Tyler Stevenson play catcher for sure. I
Hmm.
don't. I mean, I feel
I agree.
Trevino's been good, but the way Stevenson's been hitting recently, I feel like you, and especially with like every game now is essentially do or die, and the fact that the Dodgers are more than likely to win the series anyway, like you just got to leave it all out
Yeah.
there.
The only time I really want to see Trevino out there is when he's pitching Singer. Um, Singer's ERA is like 3 with Trevino, and it plummets up to 6 with Stevenson. Other than that, I want to see Tyler Stevenson every game.
Yeah,
So
mhm. Yeah, I like that.
he's also been so clutch down the stretch. I mean,
Exactly.
I think he's willed this team into the playoffs this last, 4 game stretch. He's just been
Hmm.
so good, especially in clutch spots, especially when the team didn't have a whole lot of offense, going 5 for 5 that one night, and that home run to tie it up was just so huge.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
What do
I
you think?
think.
What are the keys?
I mean,
What do you think the keys to this series are for the Reds?
I think I know this may be like kind of like an obvious answer or like well yeah obviously, but I think starting pitching has to go 5, 6, 7 innings into this game in these games. I think
Yep.
that's how we stay into it, and so I think that's my first one. Starting pitching has to play well. You can't be giving up early runs in the bottom of the first, bottom of the second, because if they dig themselves a hole, I don't see any chance they have. Um, and I think one, starting pitching's got to go deep way. I think you need your guys to step up. I think Marte has to play well. I think De La Cruz needs to play well, especially because since it's his team in a way, I guess you spotlight's going to be on him.
Yep.
He's got to step up to the plate, get on
Friedel
base. Yeah,
Friedel needs to play
Frito needs to
well.
play well as well. I agree.
Li- Beginning of the bat type guy. He's got the most bunt based hits. That's not what he does primarily. He's a really can shoot the ball in the center, right, left
Hmm.
field. But just being able to get the leadoff guy fat on on base is going to be so critical to the success of the Reds as well.
Yeah, I agree. And
And if
I
we can get Miguel Andujar, in there a lot, as well as if Benson can really run into a ball, I mean, once every series, twice every series. I don't know if
mhm,
that's asking too much, but I mean, he's got the most power on the team. And he's a home run uh, away from being able to beat the Dodgers and any other playoff team. So I think he's got to be in the lineup more often than not as well.
yeah, I agree.
I think Gavin Lux really brings that consistency in left
Hmm.
field. His approach is really good. He's also going up against his former team in the Dodgers. He knows this team very well. He played with them, won 2 World Series with them. He's got to be a factor, and Matt McClain just needs to show up.
Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
calling
I
for
agree.
a
That was
sending
the other
him
name I
to the
was going to mention
minor
too.
leagues. I've been calling for all these different types of things for Matt McClain just to change something. And he hasn't been able to change. He's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's just something you can't do. He's got to find a way to change his swing. And I think what would have been so critical to his success this year was if, I mean, this is obviously a big if, but like Joey Votto was the batting coach for the Cincinnati Reds, just making that adjustment. And maybe, I mean, I, I think Eugenio Suarez went from one of the worst power hitters this year just to changing his stance. A simple thing. Now he's hitting 45 plus home runs for the Seattle Mariners, who
Pour it up.
have a bye in the first round over in the American League. So
Yeah. I agree. I know. I think inconsistencies obviously been the big thing, and I feel like oftentimes when this team is in the spotlight, they've kind of had a letdown moment, and they just got to step up now. So
Also, you cannot let this crowd kill you. That I think Dodger Stadium's gonna be packed every single night. And when one play goes wrong, you make an error. You cannot allow that to get in your head. Just continue to play baseball that has led you to the playoffs this year. Granted, it did take, and I hate the narrative that the Reds didn't earn this playoff spot. I think that's just
they beat the Mets enough
baloney.
to hold the tiebreaker now, didn't
They
they?
they they beat all the teams. They even had the tiebreaker over the Padres. They won the season series against the Cubs. They had the tiebreaker against the Diamondbacks, the Mets. These are all great teams. They had a 45 and 41 record against teams above 500. And you're telling me this team backed into the playoffs. If they didn't back into the playoffs. They won like 11 of their last 8 of their last 11 to get into this spot where they could compete for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you mentioned in the Dodger Stadium, everyone favoring the Dodgers, it's going to be a great crowd. I think they should take on this villain role where people are downing them and saying they don't deserve to be here. I'd say, why not embrace that if you're the Reds? Play the underdog role, play the villain, come there to upset this team. And I, I think
They've
that plays
shown
an
it in
advantage to
years
us.
past. They can do it. They can do it. Especially they've shown it in years past with the regular season. Obviously that did not happen this year, but they can get hot. I think they're not giving them as much of a chance as the entire MLB. Granted, I know it's the Cincinnati Reds. They're probably going to break my heart. We know this. But I, if they can just run into some baseballs, aggressive base running, good starting pitching, the bullpen holds up. Everything's going to need to go right to win this series. But I believe that the team that we've been watching all year can get really hot and that they can play with anyone. They can lose to anyone, but they can beat anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's I've been liking talking about the Reds. So happy they're in the playoffs. But I think we can move on to the Monday night game for the Bengals against this Broncos defense that
Hmm.
has Pat Surtain, Hufanga. They've got Nick Medito. They've got a bunch of different really good players on that defense that poses big challenges for Jake Browning in this Bengals offense.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, Bengals at 2-1, coming off an embarrassing loss to the Vikings last week.
Worst loss in franchise history.
Yep, 48-10, not good. It's a big bounce back game. You gotta play good football. It's obviously a tough environment in Denver with the altitude, the noise, and prime time and everything and all that. You need your players to step up. Jamar's got to get open. T's got to get open. The offensive line. I mean, they
Needs
got to
to
block somebody.
run block, please.
Yeah, that would help too. I have Chase Brown in fantasy. I need the fantasy points, although it's most likely not going to happen.
You
I
also
just
need you need to win this game. You need Chase Brown. One thing you're going to need to do, force feed T. Higgins and be able to hand the ball off to Chase Brown to take off the pressure off of Jake Browning. Because you cannot have Jake Browning throw it 30 plus times this game. You just can't.
yeah
So the run blocking needs to be better to take the pressure off. Long sustained drive to keep the defense off the field. Defense have been good, but the longer you can keep the defense off the field, the better they are going to be because they're not going to be as tired and they're going to be able to set their scheme, sit back in their zones, ball hawk. That's where we get more interceptions is when the defense is well rested and they can just come out and operate and execute their scheme and what they want to do when the offense,
yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
hikes the ball.
Here's my view on things. So obviously you beat the Browns and Jaguars both in close games. You're encouraged by that. You're 2-0. Burrow's hurt. You take a very bad loss to the Vikings, and everyone's like out on this team. You're playing in Denver tonight. It's going to be a tough game. If I don't see encouraging football from this team, then I wouldn't I wouldn't stretch. I wouldn't be a stretch to say that the season is over
I'm
because
pretty
if you
much out if we
yeah,
lose.
because they play the Lions next week and they are
I'm all
really
the way
good.
back in if we do win tonight, though.
You're all
I'm
the way
all
back
the way.
in.
I I think I'm not. I don't know. I don't know all the way back in, but I think they could. The path to 10 wins is a lot cleaner if you win tonight. I
Well,
don't think it can happen without winning tonight.
he, this schedule, in my opinion, just got a whole lot harder. The Broncos road game Monday night. That's tough as it is. The Lions
Yeah.
really good. In Green Bay is going to be tough versus Pittsburgh, who just beat the Vikings, by the way. So
Yeah.
that's not a great thing. The Jets, I'm not concerned about. The Bears don't look too bad. That
No, they
obviously at
don't.
home, that's a little nervous. In Pittsburgh, like I just said, I don't love that. The Patriots just dismantled the Panthers. I don't know how good the Panthers are. Probably not that good, or the Patriots. So that's a tough one to say.
Yeah.
Obviously, at Baltimore, at Buffalo, Baltimore again, and then the last three games,
If
we
you
should
can
win.
get to 7 wins for Burrow with
I,
4 games
but
left,
if you don't win this game
yeah,
in
that's what I'm
Denver,
saying. That's what I'm
where
saying.
where
I'm
are the
saying
wins coming
if
from?
we win, I'm all the way back in. Like I'm
It
back
depends on the
in.
win. If we win a 14-13 game, I'm not so sure. But if we put up 35 points and win by two touchdowns or so, then maybe I'd
Yeah.
be more likely. But I mean, especially with the way
Offense
this,
has to hum. The offense has to hum to be back in, I feel like.
yeah, I don't know. I was from the other action I saw around the league, I'm just not that encouraged right now, and that just makes this game even bigger. So I don't know.
I mean,
It's just tough.
we know that one cornerback from second last game last year cannot cover T. Higgins. Just can't. So we're
Riley
gonna have,
Moss.
yeah, Riley Moss. You're gonna, I mean, he had 3 receiving touchdowns that game, over 110 yards receiving. I think you gotta force feed T tonight. Andre's gonna be huge. Jamar's gonna get open every once in a while, and really finding a way to get good field position off of kick returns. Samaje P. Ryan, Charlie Jones are going to be huge tonight as well. Defense has got to hold up. All the normal talking points for this team. Jake Browning can't turn the ball over, and the run blocking's got to be better as well. So
Yeah, I mean, do you, let's I guess just toss predictions out there. Do you think the Bengals can win? Will they win this game tonight?
score prediction, I will go 27-24 Bengals.
So, Bengals. I just don't know, Tim. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I'm just gonna go. I think it's 31-17 Broncos. Last week was just not great, and they
Yep.
essentially gave up at halftime. I mean, just an overall
They did
sloppy
give up.
game.
There's no reason why I should be picking this. They
Yeah,
haven't given me any reason to pick this,
I
but
love your optimism though.
yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, I was the complete opposite after week one. I was like, the defense, granted, it's the Browns, played really well, and this offense found a way to win the game, as we know this offense can. Then Burrow
Well,
gets hurt, and they just totally collapsed
you
against
also make a great point
Minnesota.
that the schedule has gotten harder. The
I
Bears
like
are
a
better.
lot harder than
The
actually we initially.
Patriots are not bad, but they're also a very winnable game.
Hmm.
But all these teams, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bills, they're all gonna be good. They're all going to be good and in a position where you're going to be playing against a bunch of playoff teams. And if you can't perform up to the level of these opponents, then if you play to the level of your opponents, you're not going to win. You're just not.
Yeah, can I pose a question to you?
Yeah.
If the Bengals play tonight and it goes poorly, depending on Jake Browning's performance, do you think we see a QB change now or within the next couple weeks if he continues to play bad, or do you think they're just going to ride with Jake Browning?
It won't be Mike White. It can't be Mike White. Um,
Just any QB change now.
it would
Like if
have to
the
be
play
to
continues
be
to
a
be poor.
trade. It would have to be a free agent signing. If Jake Browning plays poorly, I think they might give him one more week after this one, which would
So Detroit is what you're
I
saying?
think that if he plays poorly against Detroit, I think after playing bad against the Broncos, there's gotta be something that I know your friend Brendan is completely out on Andy Dalton, doesn't think he can throw a pass 5 yards.
Yeah.
But I think he could be a point guard for this team. I think he could just dish it around to give everyone, a decent amount of receptions a game. Why not? Why not have the Red Rifle reunion? You're going to trade nothing for him. You're going to trade a seventh round pick for him. He's sitting on the bench for the Panthers. Why not bring him back up to Cincinnati? It would be a great feel good story for I think I would like that.
Okay,
Even if
so
he
then
doesn't turn out well.
here's my follow up to that. If you're going to trade for your QB, we've already know Joe Burrow's gotten hurt. If we're going to trade for your QB, why not trade for somebody younger that can be a sustained backup? And if Burrow continues to have injury issues, could realistically see being a starter like
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's the guy or if you want to trade for Shadur Sanders or what you want to do. But I mean,
Do you think that
maybe even tank for Fernando Mendoza this year
uh,
and go losers. I mean
okay,
that's a bit of a
that's
stretch.
a
That
little
I'm not
far.
serious on
He's
that,
looked
but
really good and he's screwing over people's parlays.
uh,
But
and win is a win, man. 5-0.
oh, yep. If you guys didn't know, my friend here, he goes to IU. I was literally just at the game against
2 weeks ago.
Illinois
Hmm.
uh, a little bit ago, which was a great game. Absolute blowout.
Despite despite
It
the
could
flag
have
in the
been
corner, though.
70 plus
Yeah.
points with the pick sixes involved. But back to the Bengals. They're they're gonna have to be good tonight. So they're just gonna have to be able to throw the ball. They cannot be one dimensional. And we all know which dimension that would be, and it would be passing. We need to be able to run the ball. And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but being able to hand off the ball to take pressure off Jake Browning, not allow him to throw it 30 plus times, give yourself a shot to win.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you got to play to win because there's not much room for error.
I know we
So
weren't planning on doing this, Jack, but do you just want to take a look at FC Cincinnati real quick?
yeah,
Obviously,
sure.
yeah.
I believe they took a draw against. I believe it was Orlando the other night, maybe.
Yeah, and that's not a bad draw. They got 50 plus points. That's not bad. Still, second in the Eastern Conference as well as the Supporter Shield. They got
Yeah, they got
18
what 2 games
wins,
left? Two
nine
games left.
losses, five ties. Yep, and I think they got 2 games left. Yep.
That goal was very nice, absolute rocket. And then that draw against Orlando was a stoppage time equalizer in '95. So
I don't think what gets talked about for this team enough is how great Pat Noonan is, of how great of a coach he is, the way he sets up his players for success, the players that he allows the front office to acquire. It's a really well run team.
surprising considering they're in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it might be the only well run team in Cincinnati, and they're consistently up the top of the Eastern Conference or second, and hopefully it's just got to be a playoff run this year.
If we, how realistic is we see? We're 2 for 2. Reds, FCC. Will the Bengals get there?
I think it's most likely going to be 2 of 3.
2 or 3. Yeah, that's fair.
If and by God, if we can get all three in, that would be unbelievable. And if Joe Burrow looks himself by the time we get in, that would be just just unbelievable
Yeah,
for the
and
kids.
the Bearcats are making March Madness this year, but that's a talk for a later
That's a
podcast.
topic for another day. Uh, if Wes Miller can get a team to actually gel and fit together, I
Hey
don't
man,
know.
I like the roster this year. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're gonna have to get into that soon.
We are. Hey, 35 days until college basketball. Man, I'm excited.
How about the Cincinnati Bearcats football beating Kansas
Big win
on the
against the
road?
Jayhawks. Hey, top top 15 team coming to Nip
Get a
next week.
fifth year senior Jalen Daniels, who's gonna getting prepared for the NFL
He's
draft.
long past his college time, man. He's got to move on.
Yeah, he so I think that was a good win. It's kind of sad because I don't
Hey,
want
some
them
people
to
are saying
win.
extend Scott Satterfield.
I don't hear that anywhere. I haven't heard that anywhere. I heard an article on the way back which made me so pissed off that your friend Cam Lewis, also my friend Cam Lewis, dear friend of the program, uh, he said that the UC Bearcats had an opportunity to hire Kurt Signetti, but they didn't hire him because he didn't have any Power Four experience. Power Five at the time. But I mean that's just bogus. Imagine where the
In
program
case
would
you
be
guys aren't
with
familiar,
him.
5-0 and number 8 in the country. Just leave it there.
Yeah. So I envy you in that aspect because it's almost like I love the Bearcats. I want them to win, but do I really want them to win because of this coach? Like,
It's a fair question. I was
no. I think we're gonna wrap things up. We've kind of got on a little bit of a tangent here,
good
but
pod today. I think that
it
was a
was a
good
good
discussion.
pod. Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see you next time, and hopefully that's
Go Reds,
after
man.
a Reds playoff series win in LA. Bring a home playoff game back to GABP.
We'll
We'll see
be
you
there
next time,
if that's the
and we will
case.
be there. Yes.